so you really think Juice WRLD's death was just another sad overdose story? Cute. That's what they wanted you to believe. But buckle up, because the courtroom just turned into an episode of Black Mirror, and the plot twist came straight from the one person who was actually there, his ex-girlfriend Dot. Now ask yourself this. Why is she suddenly being allowed to speak in court after years of being smeared as a clout chaser? A liar, even cropped out of history like she was a bad Instagram filter? Because what she just dropped isn't gossip. It's dynamite. She's not just pointing fingers at random bloggers or internet trolls. No, she's dragging his own team into the spotlight. The same people who made millions off his music while allegedly watching him spiral behind closed doors. And her account of Juice's final moments? Let's just say it's the kind of thing that makes you question every headline you ever read. So what really happened to Juice WRLD? Who's guilty? Who's lying? And why are we only hearing this now? Stick around, because this scandal isn't about music anymore. It's about power, money, and the truth they tried to bury. All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off. This isn't just a tragic love story or a cautionary tale about fame and pills. This is a full-blown scandal starring Juice WRLD, his ex-girlfriend WRLD, and an industry machine that apparently thinks self-destruction is just another marketing strategy. Let's set the stage. Juice WRLD, the global superstar, chart topper, the kid who turned heartbreak into platinum records. Official story: he overdosed, collapsed at Chicago's Midway Airport, and died before his 22nd birthday. The world cried, the headlines rolled, and the industry cashed in like Black Friday on steroids. But WRLD, the woman who lived that chaos day after day, is standing in court and saying, "Not so fast." According to her, the overdose explanation is the lazy version, the TikTok summary. The real story: Juice was allegedly pushed, prodded, and squeezed dry by the very people who were supposed to protect him. Think about it. 2,000 unreleased songs in just 2 years. That's not creativity, that's a sweatshop with auto-tune. And behind the scenes, panic attacks, paranoia, breakdowns, all brushed aside in favor of sold-out shows and bigger checks. And here's the kicker. This isn't the first time the industry's been accused of this. We've seen it with other artists, burned out, overworked, dead young, and then immortalized for profit. Tupac, XXXTentacion, Pop Smoke, the list is practically a Billboard chart of exploitation, so why would Juice be any different? Ali says she saw it all up close. Every flight, every backstage collapse, every hospital scare. She wasn't some Instagram fling, she was basically his crisis manager, unpaid therapist, and emotional life support system. Meanwhile, the professionals on payroll? According to her, they were more worried about the tour schedule than the human being actually performing it. Now, let's sprinkle in some history, because context is everything. Ali herself was never the industry darling. She came from hustle, bartending, throwing underground parties, scraping by in strip clubs just to pay rent. By the time she met Juice, she wasn't looking for fame, she was looking for survival. And maybe that's why she saw through the illusion faster than anyone else. To her, he wasn't Juice WRLD the brand, he was Jared, a scared kid with panic attacks and a desperate need to not be left alone, but of course no good deed goes unpunished. From the moment Juice died, Ali was treated less like a grieving partner and more like a problem to erase. Fans called her a liar, blogs painted her as a groupie, and insiders, they cropped her out of the story faster than an unwanted ex from a family photo album. Why? Because if she talks, the whole money machine starts to look like a crime scene. And now, here we are, in 2025, with Ali dropping bombshells in court, accusing Juice's own team of letting him spiral, maybe even pushing him further, because every breakdown meant another track, another paycheck, another hit. But wait, if that's true, then what about those final moments? What really went down on that last flight, the one that ended everything? So here's where things go from tragic story to conspiracy special. According to leaked whispers, anonymous sources, and a few conveniently timed screenshots, Juice WRLD's last 48 hours weren't just chaotic, they were suspiciously orchestrated. Let's start with the final flight, official version. Juice, panicked when he found out federal agents were waiting at the airport, swallowed too many pills to hide them, and collapsed. End of story. But Ali's courtroom testimony paints a darker picture. Juice didn't just randomly overdose. He was surrounded by chaos that was anything but accidental. She claims his team already knew the feds were tipped off. That's right, anonymous insider sources say someone from inside the camp may have leaked the location of the drugs and weapons on the plane. Convenient, right? Set the kid up to panic, swallow a lethal cocktail, then sit back as the headlines write themselves. And while Juice was literally fighting for his life, where was management? Security? Anyone? According to Ali, some were frozen, others disappeared, and the rest just watched. Imagine being on a private jet that turns into a crime scene and the people paid to protect. You suddenly turn into extras in a horror movie, but it doesn't end there. Enter the leaked reports. One supposed confidential memo floating around fan forums suggests that within 24 hours of Juice's death, major label executives were already drawing up release schedules for his unreleased catalog, not grief counseling. Nah. Support for Ali? Nope, a business plan. Because nothing says we care like slapping a morning discount on someone's art, and the spending? Oh, don't even get me started. Ali claims Juice's fortune was being siphoned off faster than his heart rate backstage. Anonymous accountants, yes, those exist now, allege the team had access to multiple offshore accounts tied to his brand. Meanwhile, Jared himself couldn't even handle getting his passport renewed without a meltdown. The math doesn't math, does it? Naturally, public reaction has been nuclear. Fans are split between Ali's a hero for finally speaking up, and she's just bitter she didn't get a cut. On TikTok, conspiracy threads are exploding, edits comparing Juice to Kurt Cobain, captions like "the industry sacrifices its stars," racking up millions of views. Twitter, a battlefield. Half the comments are sympathy for Ali, the other half are "shut up, clout chaser." And let's not forget the imaginary quotes we've all been waiting for. One anonymous tour manager told us Juice was exhausted. Man, he was begging for a break, but breaks don't make money. Songs do. Another supposed security guard claimed, "We were told to just keep him moving. If he collapsed, we'd pick him up and get him to the next stage. That's it." It's grotesque. It's exploitative. It's the kind of thing you'd expect in a dystopian novel, except it happened in real life. And if you thought the internet reactions were messy, wait until you hear about the fallout. Because once Ali dropped her courtroom bombshells, the whispers turned into headlines, and the headlines turned into, well, potential legal nightmares. So now the courtroom isn't just about Juice WRLD's tragic end. It's about the industry's dirty laundry finally getting aired out like a reality show reunion episode. Ali's testimony cracked the door open, and suddenly everyone's scrambling to cover their tracks. First up, possible legal action. Word on the street, and by street, I mean the court gossip mill, is that prosecutors are quietly probing whether Juice's team engaged in criminal negligence. Think about it. If your job is to protect an artist, and you knowingly shove them into the spotlight while ignoring their collapsing health, that's not just bad management, that's potentially a crime. And let's not forget the suspicious timing of the feds showing up at the airport. Who tipped them off? Ali says someone inside the camp. If investigators take that seriously, we're talking about obstruction, conspiracy, even manslaughter charges. Meanwhile, the labels are sweating bullets. Publicly, they're tweeting inspirational quotes and "rest in peace, Juice," graphics like "nothing's wrong." Privately, they're calling lawyers, shredding documents, and pretending those offshore accounts were just vacation funds. One rumor even claims a senior executive offered to resign before things got messy. Spoiler alert, it's already messy. And then there's the money. Juice WRLD's estate is worth millions, and if Ali's courtroom statements gain traction, the financial fallout could be brutal. Lawsuits from family, countersuits from labels, investigations into royalty splits. Basically a feeding frenzy where everyone claims they're the real victim. Meanwhile, Juice's fans are stuck watching his unreleased songs drop like mystery loot boxes. wondering if they're honoring his legacy or just padding someone else's pocket. Public backlash. Oh, it's volcanic. Fans are organizing. Hashtags demanding justice, even threatening boycotts. TikTok edits with captions like, "The industry killed Juice," are going viral. Twitter's full of threads like, "Expose the label," complete with blurry screenshots that may or may not be real. And YouTube? Channels like this one, "Hi, that's us," are feasting on the chaos, but here's where it gets really chilling, the bigger implications. If Ali's right, then Juice WRLD isn't just a tragedy, he's a blueprint. A blueprint for how the music industry milks young talent until they collapse, then spins their death into a forever profitable brand. It's not just about one artist. It's about a system that thrives on destruction. And let's be brutally honest. Will there be justice? Maybe, maybe not. The industry is a fortress and money has a way of buying silence. But at least now, the conversation is happening. Ali's courtroom revelations force the public to look past the glossy headlines and ask the uncomfortable question, who's really pulling the strings? Because in the end, this isn't about overdoses, private jets, or even Ali herself. It's about power. It's about money. And it's about the truth they tried to bury, but WRLD single quotes day dot. So now the question is, do you believe Ali's explosive testimony, or is this just another chapter in the industry's endless cover-ups? Was Juice WRLD a victim of his own demons, or was he the target of a machine that only cared about profits? You tell me, because the courtroom isn't the only place where the truth gets decided. Drop your thoughts in the comments, argue it out, and let's see whose theory holds weight. And if you want more unfiltered, messy, and controversial breakdowns like this, smash that like, subscribe, and stay tuned.